everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Let's Talk Dallas Cowboys here on the Let's Talk Sports Network. Also, simulcasting on the Bottom Line Sports Network as well.
Let's
Gentlemen,
go!
my name is Alan. As always, I'm joined by the guys from the Bottom Line Sports. We got Flo over here to my left. Flo, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm traveling. I came to see the in-laws and my mom, so I'm kind of on the road. I'm like limited right now, but I'm on my phone, so we're making it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, of course, also joining us from the Bottom Line Sports Network is the one and only Canteen Can. How you doing, man?
Let's go, bro. Let's go. A lot of good football. Let's talk. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. I've said this twice now, but thank you to your Red Raiders for beating Kansas today. I had to get that out. It's definitely helping us out here in Norman. So I had to shout you out real quick.
Yeah, we needed a win anyway. So
definitely, 3-3, still very much alive in the Big 12. So, or 4-3 now, 4-3 now in the Big 12. So
yeah,
but
no worries.
And you had Patrick Mahomes in attendance today, so
I know that's like we need some good juju in the house. Since it was in Kansas, made it was easy for him to come by, since it was in Kansas. So
yeah. Definitely. But we won't talk, college that much. We'll try to stay on topic this week. How about that?
Yeah, let's stay on topic this week.
Let's go with the game from last week, Philly Dallas. This lived up to the hype. Probably the two best teams in the NFC right now, the Cowboys and the Eagles. Eagles, well, while they did not look good for a good part of that game, they still managed to stay out on top. I like to define this game as a game of missed opportunities, mostly because our defense forced 2 fumbles, couldn't recover them. You had the gimme at the end where Swift ran into AJ Brown, and they were
butt fumble.
They were still able to fall on it.
I mean, that's very fortunate. 3 fumbles, and they didn't lose one of them. That's very fortunate.
Yeah. We recover at least one of those, it completely turns the tide of that game. So, and then, of course, the missed opportunities on our side, the 4th and goal that was just a half yard short, and then Stack stepping out on the 2-point play, which would have made it a field goal game. And made it a lot easier to send that game into overtime. But still, it's a game that lived up to the hype. These are the two, arguably the 2 best teams in the NFC right now. San Francisco's kind of slumping a little bit. Detroit, we don't know exactly where they're at yet. But even though the Cowboys lost, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel very comfortable with the team right now, especially offensively, because I said this already the last couple of weeks. This is the best Dak Prescott has looked in 2 years. And he's played very well. Like you said, Flo, he's using his legs more. He's getting out of the pocket. He's making throws on the run. And he's getting back to the Prescott of old that we've seen in the past. So what did you think of this game?
The game in general?
Yeah, game in general. The play.
Yeah, I mean, this has turned out to be what I wanted to happen because I kind of had a feeling we're going to lose one to Philly, So I wanted to lose this game. I didn't want to lose either game, right? I'm still rooting for them, but I'd rather lose if we're going to lose the game there and then win the game when me and Can and the crew are in Dallas. And win that game. So it kind of worked out for me in a way, but I knew that it was going to be a close game. I had a feeling we're going to win this game. So that's how close I thought it would be. And I think, like you said, a couple of missed opportunities, a couple of bounces the right way, a couple of calls that went against us, and bad calls that went against us, and then bad calls that didn't go for us. And then it's just one of those things where it just I don't know. You get the conspiracy theorists who say, that the refs are against us. But they're just bad calls both ways, and we didn't get the turnovers, with the fumbles and stuff. So it just bounced the right way for Philly. I felt good about this game, like you said. Dak played well. He's using his legs more, and that's what I've always said. For 7 years, he's got to use his legs.
Didn't turn the ball over. Didn't turn the ball over once in this game.
I think that was a close one time, but Yeah, I mean, he didn't turn the ball over. He played within himself. I think he threw it over 40 times. So that's the only thing I was a little worried about. He threw it about 40 something times.
40,
Our
yeah.
run game is still struggling. That's my only concern right now, that our run game is still struggling a bit. And so I'm hoping that they start to figure this out. Part of it's probably, Tyrone Smith's been hurt too. Our lines have been banged up, but still, I wish our running game would be a little more effective, especially early. When our run game is effective early, I feel that it helps our pass game. It helps us, as the game rolls on.
Yeah, I did notice in the second half they started to run a lot of more of those outside zone runs, and Pollard started picking up big chunks of yards on plays like that. So maybe they continue to go with the outside run, get Pollard in space like we've been screaming for the last couple of weeks, and that'll help with the run game.
Hopefully.
Yeah, Ken, what did you think about this game?
Man, let me pull up. I'm going to talk some of the stats, man. Give me 1 second. I just had it pulled up. When I look at the stats, man, like Flo pointed out, Prescott went 29 for 44, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. Had a phenomenal game. Pollard, 12 carries, 51 yards, and then CeeDee Lamb was exceptional with 11 receptions, 191 yards. I mean, I think it was probably the best game that Cowboys have played all year. This is the best that Dak Prescott has played all year long. We just had some calls that didn't go our way, and there was some minor coaching errors. You got to know how we had the refs on our side towards the end of the game. All those calls were adequate calls. We moved the ball. You got to be able to spike the ball and make some things happen.
Yeah, but even on that sack, Dak got hit in the head. That should have been a penalty right there.
Yeah.
So that did not go our way when we needed it.
If anything, I think they also got a holding call on that play. So if anything, at the very least, it would have been offsetting. You would have gotten the replay of the down at the very least. I don't know if there was a holding call. If there wasn't a holding call on there, then we get the 15 and it goes our way.
And then Schoonmaker was getting tackled before the ball even gets there.
He got tackled before he even.
I mean,
So
hey,
man, my heart burned. Here's what I'm gonna say. The Dallas Cowboys with a 5-3 record look hella better than the Eagles with an 8-1 record.
Or just as good.
We're better. We proved that we were the better team. It's just certain things didn't happen like we wanted them to happen.
The Cowboys outgained Philadelphia in that game.
Here's the
yardage
thing.
Wise.
Here's what you got to look at. The road for Philly isn't going to be easy. Philly got Dallas again. They got
Kansas City, Buffalo.
I think they got the 49ers or somebody.
Dolphins.
They're stacked pretty high. Tomorrow we got the Giants. I think the Giants will be a good break for us. We should pound them and beat them.
I mean, if we don't put 40 or 50 on them tomorrow, I might be a little disappointed. But
I mean, to be honest, I think it's gonna be closer than expected, because the Giants are pretty desperate. So they got nothing to lose. So they're going to play kind of desperate. They might do some onside kicks, when you least expect it, do some crazy stuff, go for it on 4th down a few times. So it's probably going to be closer than we think, just because, the Giants have nothing to lose right now.
And
they're going to make Tommy DeVito beat them. They're not going to let Saquon get a yard in that game.
The thing that bothers me about the Cowboys, man, and it's bothered me ever since the trade deadline. I think we should have made some lucrative moves or changes or get somebody to supplement a guy like Pollard. Pollard's a great running back, but Pollard cannot hit the hole. Pollard, when it counts, I don't think Pollard's our guy. You need a guy like Derrick Henry or a workhorse, or that's when you need a guy like Ezekiel Elliott to come through in the clutch for you. And I think we should have got a running back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's too late at this point,
So I think at this point in the season, we got to work with what we got. But, man, don't count Dallas out, bro. Don't count them out. They look better. A 5-3 team looks better than an 8-1 team. The only loss was to the Jets. And to me, Hurts is hurt. He's injured. There's something that's ailing him that's preventing him from playing his best.
Yeah.
Remember, Philly also has their bye week this week, so they have at least an extra week to kind of get healthy. But they have struggled on offense a little bit. We saw Brown have the 5 straight games with 125 yards. He didn't even crack 75 in this game against the Cowboys. I think he only had like 68 yards receiving against Dallas. They held him pretty much in check in this game.
Yeah.
And, kudos to, a guy we continue to shout out week in and week out, Deron Bland, who's covering for Trayvon Diggs after that injury. He's starting to play like an all-level corner, a ball-hawk corner. And, he's been very, very effective. He's one of the better corners. He's been graded as one of the better corners in the league this season for his play. So, shout out to him and Marquise Bell as well, filling in for Leighton Vander Esch at linebacker.
Yeah,
both
definitely.
of those guys have stepped up.
Yep.
So yeah, let's go over that. Offensively was a great game. Obviously, the running game, still needs some work. Defensively, what were some things that jumped out at you on our defense in this game, Flo?
Well, first of all, shout out to all the veterans out there. Me and Ken are veterans, so happy Veterans Day, happy Veterans Day weekend to everybody, past and present, and just shout out to all the veterans. But as far as the defense, man, I was a little surprised we didn't get more pressure on Hurts. I know they got a great offensive line, but I felt like we should have got a little more pressure on him. Maybe another sack or two. Was it Williams that came around and had a sack had a fumble, caused that fumble, and so I felt like there should have been a little more of that this game, at least. Not total domination, but another 2 or 3 plays like that where you get to Hurts and you make him either fumble it or you sack him or you rush him. It just felt like, even though we say he's injured, it felt like it was too easy for him to get out of the pocket and too easy for him, for the most part, to move around. And so I don't know what's up with the defense as far as getting pressure. I don't know if they're just keeping us upright.
I will say this. I think they played much better this year at the link than they did last year. You saw that Dan Quinn's moving Micah Parsons around at the middle of the formation, sometimes on the outside. Whenever they do that, they're not going to know where he's at. And it confuses their look offensively on how they run the football, because we held them in check in the run game in that game. Yeah,
and they did mix him up, have him drop out in coverage a little bit, a few more times. So he's not totally just a pass rusher like he was probably going to be this year if we didn't lose Diggs. But I like that they mix it up a little bit with him. I just feel like we rely too much on Micah to make something big happen, and so I want these other guys to kind of step up a little bit and make something happen, and we can't just rely on Micah to make all the dominant plays. And like I said, Williams did make a big play, so that's good. I just need a couple of these other guys to come up with a couple of big plays here and there, and take some of the pressure off Micah to have to be do all kind of person on the front seven.
I think from the stats I saw, the 2 leading tacklers on the team were Damone Clark with 11 and Marquise Bell with 9. So the linebackers are getting it done as far as the tackling is concerned. I know Bell had a couple tackles for loss in that game. He's stepping up in place of Leighton Vander Esch and is doing a good job. Would like to see a little bit more of Donovan Wilson, if I'm being honest. I think he needs to step up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think he could have a big game this week against the Giants. And then a couple others as well. Maybe the other 2 safeties as well, kind of get into the action a little bit more as we move on here, especially later on in the season when we have to go to teams like Buffalo and Miami that are going to be tough offenses to go against.
Yeah. What do you think, Ken, about the defense?
All right, man. So when I was looking at some of the highlights from the previous game, and I look at some of the guys that really stood out to me on defense were Damone Clark. He had like 11 total tackles, 8 solo. Micah Parsons, 9 total, 5 solo tackles. Marquise Bell, Malik Hooker. Guys like Jerron Curse, 5 tackles, 3 solo. Stephon Gilmore. So I like I said, overall our defensive scheme looks great. And I think you have to laud and give what's his name, man? The defensive coordinator. I know his name. I don't know his name.
Dan Quinn.
You have to give Quinn his flowers. Give him his flowers. I mean, the defense looks good. The offense, like I said, the offense looked good, and it was a real scripted game plan for the game against the Eagles. Man, we had the game. If Dak hadn't stepped out of bounds on that one play, he would have got the 2-point conversion. And like I said, it was just some of the calls that went back and forth. Man, it didn't work out in our favor, man. But it's fine. I mean, I think that with our division is like wide open for either us or Philly at this point. You know, I'd be surprised if 3 teams slipped in and made it to the playoffs. You know, I don't know what Washington's potential is from here on out. The Commanders.
I mean, Washington's got a shot. They got a shot. Howell looks pretty good, and their defense is solid, even though they got rid of what's his name, Young.
Sweat and Young.
Yeah, Sweat and Young.
And I think them getting rid of Young wasn't a bad move, but I don't think Young's going to stay out there in San Fran. Because you got to pay off your guy. You got to take care of Bosa and some of your other key.
Well, he's never the same after his injury. It seems like he didn't have quite the same burst, quite the same, ability to get after the passer. He's still quality, but he's not like he was in his rookie season.
Nobody's going to cut him a long-term deal and pay him a lot of money.
Right. He'll be a journeyman defensive lineman that can get some big plays every now and then, but he's not going to be a superstar.
I mean, as I said, for us guys, I mean, when we look at our schedule and look at what we have going into the next few weeks, man, I mean, here's what we got. We got us. Who do we have? We have the
Giants, Panthers, Commanders on Thanksgiving, Seattle on Thursday Night Football, and then at home against Philadelphia, which is a Sunday night game. So,
I mean, for us right now, I say we can win our next 4 straight. The only game I'm afraid of is Thanksgiving. We always play tough games when it comes down to our division opponents. I mean, I look at the Commanders; they played Philly really tough, but the Panthers look decent Thursday night. I mean, did they win it? No, the Panthers lost. They lost by 3, and I picked the Panthers to win, but if they lost or what have you, we should stomp the Giants pretty bad. But as Flo said, it may be a close game with the Giants, man, because the Giants are hungry, they're desperate. They'll do anything to win a football game and anything to knock off a division rival like us. Commanders, Seahawks, but I think December 10th, I think we're going to get revenge. And the thing I'm worried about with Dallas is from that point on, man, we got the Bills in Orchard Park. It's cold. It's freezing. It's cold. It's snow. So we go from 2 different extremes. We go from our home, from AT&T to freezing blizzard cold. Then we go down to Miami. Then we got the Lions at home. And then we got the Commanders finishing up. So we could potentially win our division, guys. We can win the division.
That's a tough schedule, though. It's tough.
The next 6 games for sure are definitely winnable. And I'm even counting Buffalo because I'm not seeing a lot of good coming out of Buffalo. Their offense has struggled. They haven't been able to run the ball effectively. And their defense is gutted with injury. So I've said all season long, Buffalo's not going to be a playoff team. And so far they are on the outside looking in right now.
They'll be a playoff team. I feel like they're going to squeak in, but I mean they'll be desperate at that point as well. So they're going to be desperate for a win too.
I really think we can go into Orchard Park and win because the Giants almost did it. So
exposed.
Yeah.
I think they got exposed last week.
Who knows?
The Bills.
And then
what you got, Alan?
Then Miami is also like, what is their offense going to look like? How healthy will Tua be? How healthy will their receivers be? I know they just got Ramsey back, so that kind of helps their defense a little bit. So I think Miami's still a winnable game. Even Detroit can be inconsistent. And I know they've looked really good this year. I still think that's a winnable game, especially since it's at home. The 2 Washington games are going to be tough because Washington always plays us tough. And then, of course, Philadelphia. So every game that we have left, I think is still a winnable game. It's just they got to go out and execute and play like they have the last 2 weeks. Play those types of games. And if they play like that, they could definitely win out the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's optimistic to me, but I mean, it's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that they can after seeing that. If they're seeing them play the last couple of weeks, if they play like they are now, and if they get the running game going, if they get Pollard going, they definitely can win the
yeah. But that's my only concern.
If we only had a back to supplement, I would utilize utilize Pollard when it's like a 2-9 or 3 like on long yardage. But when you need a running back to run like short yardage, where you get within like field goal distance, or like when you get within the red zone, you need a big back like a guy like Henry that's gonna punch the clock and go in and score. And that's what I wish Dallas would have selected, man.
I mean, Rico's the bigger guy if you want like a punch guy. I mean, but at the same time, he's not a lot bigger than Pollard. And then you got Lupke. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe he's not catching the offense very well. I'm surprised they haven't used him a little more, especially in some short yardage kind of situations. Maybe they don't feel comfortable with him yet. Maybe there's some things in practice they haven't seen or would like to see before they start giving him the ball in those kind of situations. So I don't know. I mean, we got a big back, like like a fullback like Lupke. So I don't know. If it's just something they're not seeing and they're waiting for him to kind of blossom a little more before they start giving him too much of the load.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. And remember, he's still a rookie, so he's still trying to come into his own. So
Right.
So yeah, there's going to be a lot to go over as far as the process of that is. You definitely wish you had a better running game, but I think this week in particular, with the Giants coming into Dallas, I think this is going to be Tony Pollard's week. I see this as being Tony Pollard's week where he finally gets over 100 and he has a big day. I think the offense will be clicking on all cylinders. The defense will make a couple big plays. But yeah, let's talk about that. The Giants coming in, they have not looked much like an NFL team at all. They've gone through a lot of injuries, especially at quarterback. Tyrod Taylor's still out in concussion protocol. Daniel Jones out for the rest of the year with the torn ACL. Tommy DeVito is going to be making his first
Tommy, I'm not Danny DeVito.
Tommy, I'm Danny DeVito's nephew, as Scott and I have talked about earlier today.
Laugh track.
It's laugh track there. But yeah,
I don't have my stuff.
Tommy DeVito will be starting for the Giants come Sunday. There's also no word on if Saquon's going to play in this game. So if they don't have Barkley, that there basically goes their offense because you're not worried about Matt Breida. You're not worried about whoever else they have at running back.
No, Breida's not bad though.
Breida's not bad. If you shut down the running game, make Tommy DeVito beat you, I think that's still going to be the case. I mean, they shut down Saquon Barkley in week 1, and again, they routed them 40-0. So, I think it could potentially be worse than week 1 because we are at home and the crowd is going to go crazy. I feel in this game, and the Cowboys. I feel like the Cowboys are also going to be playing angry because they felt that they should have won at the Link last week, and they're going to take their frustration out on the Giants.
There could be a possibility they take them lightly too, because this is like one of the biggest spreads of the whole season. So the Giants may take that personally. The Cowboys may, hey, we're going to come in here and pad our stats. I mean, so you never know. I mean, hopefully we stay focused, but I mean, that's just the way it is. Sometimes you get a big, home favorite and it just, and then they get a couple of big plays, a couple of fourth downs, just because they're, like I said, they're desperate. They're going to go for some of that stuff. They're going to go for some of those 4th and 4s even. And just try and make them. And then if they get them, it could make it close. I guess the only difference will be if some of those chances they take don't pay off, then we could get, good field position. Then it could get out of hand. But if they convert on some of those chances that they're probably going to take, then it's going to make it for a closer game. But it all depends on how the ball bounces, in this game. It really does. It really does. I mean, because like you said, it could get out of hand, especially if they take chances and it doesn't fall their way, and we should either shut it down or it's a turnover or something on downs and stuff like that, then it could get out of hand. But yeah, it all depends. If they take their chances that they take pay off, then it could look like it could become a closer type game.
And Tommy DeVito, this kid, what? I've
never heard of him.
I'm looking at this kid's track record. I mean,
is he a rookie? How long has he been around? I don't even know.
He just signed with the Giants this year.
But I mean, is he a rookie? When did he play at Syracuse? I mean, when did he get drafted?
He played the majority of his time at Syracuse from 2017-21, and then he played 2022 with the Fighting Illini.
Okay. So he's a rookie, I guess.
This year, man.
Okay. I didn't know much about him.
He was an undrafted free agent. So
the Jets game, Giants fans were furious because they wouldn't let him throw the ball, and they ended up basically losing that game to the Jets in that game because couldn't get the ball down the field, couldn't get within field goal range, had to punt in overtime, and the Jets were able to go down and score the winning field goal. Last week, he has 175 yards passing, but he throws 3 interceptions. So it's like, it's a lose-lose situation. I understand, Flo. I get where you're at. They have nothing to lose at this point. They're
that's what I'm saying.
They're basically out of it at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Desperate team, man. I don't like desperate teams. I really don't.
But I mean, like Flo just caveated, man. It's always teams that are desperate. They have nothing to lose. They'll end up beating a top tier team. I'm not saying they're going to beat us in a sense, but I'm just saying teams
make it hard.
They make it hard, or like when it gets to the end of the season, you have a team like we got to play like who the Commanders are, and the Commanders may be vying for a playoff spot, and they may play us hard, and we may sit our guys, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And to be fair, it all depends on how aggressive Dayball is going to be. I mean, he may just want to play it safe and not get embarrassed, or he may go out there and be aggressive and go for some crazy stuff, on special teams,
or get anybody else hurt.
Right. I mean, it all depends on how the coach's approach to this game is. I mean, for sure, the players are going to be desperate. They're going to want to go out there and prove that they're not 16-point underdogs. I mean, the players are going to play tough, but it all depends on the plan. What the game plan is against us. Are they going to be super aggressive and take chances, or are they just going to kind of manage the game and just try not to get embarrassed? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Again, I think this potentially could be a get out of hand early, especially if the Cowboys are running the ball effectively.
Take that out in the fourth quarter.
Take that out of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it could be.
Well.
It's possible. Mm-hmm. It's possible.
I think Pollard will have a big game. I think this will be his big game of the year. Because the Giants have a hard time stopping the run as well. So, we'll have to wait and see on that. But what are some keys to this game, Flo? The Giants coming in to Dallas to take on the Cowboys.
The keys for the Giants,
or either or,
either or.
Just keys to the game in general.
Since we're Cowboy fans, I'm going to say the keys for us is just to go out and start fast. I mean, take the first drive and go score a touchdown, go ahead. Don't go out there and get a 3-and-out for sure. At least go get a field goal. We got to score that first drive. I feel like it kind of, you get the momentum early on. If you go out there and don't, score on that first drive, and then they happen to score, or get some kind of special teams crazy thing happen, and they're up even by 3-0 or 7-0 somehow. I mean, it just we got to start fast. We got to really. I think that's key for us. We don't have to rush. We don't have to take big chances, but start fast. Run your offense. Dak, go out there and do what you've been doing this last few games. Use your legs, move them around, and that's when he feels comfortable. Is when he's moving around. So I just feel like that's Dak. Just be who you've been the last few games. Run your offense and go out there and score in that first drive. And then just kind of get the ball rolling. So I think a good early start, a quick start early, scoring that first drive and just kind of get the ball rolling in the right direction early. I think it's key for us coming into this game, especially against, like I said, a desperate team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cam, what do you think about this game?
We gotta gut punch him up. We gotta gut punch him early, bro. We gotta get if I want to receive the ball first. I don't want to defer to halftime. I want to receive the ball first. I want to run it down their throat, and we put points on the board. We got it. There's really – if we lose tomorrow, man, we shouldn't even be in the NFL. If we lose tomorrow, we shouldn't even talk football. I mean –
just cancel the rest of the season's games. The rest of the shows, we're going to cancel them. Cancel the rest of the show.
If the Cowboys lose tomorrow,
yeah, they shouldn't lose it. They shouldn't lose this game. It might be close, but they should for sure not lose it.
What I'm saying is,
early. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm. Yeah,
the defense is solid. Dan Quinn has a great plan. Like I said, I just wish if we had another top tier running back.
Quit talking about it, Ken. We're not going to have one. Just let it go.
I'm not worried about the receiving core. I mean, if Jalen Tolbert had caught this one pass, I think it was Jalen Tolbert that should have caught that last pass, we'd have beat the Eagles. But I'm not really worried about anything. I think we're going to be fine, man. There's no need to stress over this game. No, don't lose it.
Well, I kind of asked Flo about this earlier, but what do you think of the Martavis Bryant signing, Ken?
When was the last time this guy played? I think he'll be a great deep threat.
He's been playing in the XFL, but it's been 5 years since he played in the NFL.
He's already on the roster now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Try him out tomorrow. See what he's made of tomorrow against a team like the Giants.
That's what I say. Put him in the red zone. Some red zone plays, couple here and there. Yeah. Even if he's just a decoy. Even if he's just a decoy that take somebody away who, they put somebody big on him, or just as a decoy. But just try it out, give him a few plays. That's what I say, and see what happens.
I mean, you use his big body in the red zone, like Flo said.
Right. Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, he's obviously not going to play a bunch of plays. He might get maybe a handful, maybe 4 or 5 at the most. I don't see him playing more than that if he plays that many.
It's funny you mentioned we should win, Ken, because this past Wednesday we did our NFC East roundtable. The Mad New Yorker himself, Mr. Carlos Chavez, shout out to him, was saying that if we give up 10 points to the Giants, Mike McCarthy should be fired. So I was like, that's a little ridiculous. Fair. That's a little ridiculous, but I kind of understand because this Giants team.
I mean, that's fair.
Is not good at all. It's not good at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but they're desperate, so that's what I'm saying. It depends how aggressive Dayball goes with this. If he's super aggressive, there's a chance they could score more than 10. If he's aggressive on special teams, if he's aggressive on 4th downs, I just feel like they could score more than 10, and it kind of just catches us by surprise, because we're expecting to go out. I mean, everybody's expecting us to win, and usually that doesn't bode well for any team. When everybody thinks you're going to win. I mean, almost nobody's picking an upset for sure. But that's why I think it could be turn into a close game, unfortunately. And then, of course, you're going to have the haters come in. See, they barely beat the Giants and all that. But, it is what it is. I mean, like I said, Dayball is going to be key to this game. Does he take big chances, try and go for a gut punch to us? Or does he just kind of play conservative? I don't know. It's just hard to predict what he's going to do. I don't know.
Yeah. The reason I think he's going to play conservative is because the Giants have had so many injuries, especially on offense, at quarterback especially. He's trying to play it safe with Tommy DeVito, which is why they didn't throw it that much with him when he came in against the Jets. He didn't have that many pass attempts last week, I don't think. I think he completed 75% of his passes, but he also threw 3 interceptions. But he only passed it like 20 times, I guess, something like that.
Can he move around a little? I didn't get to see the game. Can he move around?
I think he can move around a little bit, which could be kind of bothersome. But
can they may lose his legs too?
If you shut down if you shut down the running game on defense, you'll be fine.
Make him pass.
You're going to make him have to beat you in the pocket.
Well, it sounds like he can throw it around. 75% is pretty good, even though he threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad for a young kid. Throw 75%. Complete 75% of his passes. That's not bad. I'm not saying he's going to do that. He's going to have a great game, but I mean that's efficient for being a young player like that.
So last week against Vegas, he was 15 of 20, 175, a touchdown and 2 picks.
Okay. Yeah.
He had Barkley have 90 yards on 16 carries.
But he's got another week.
Most of that also
first team reps.
Most of that also came in garbage time because the Raiders were already up 30-3 at that point. So
right. Yeah. But I mean, he got time in there running plays. So I mean, it's not all bad for them. And they get another week of practice with him, so he'll be probably a little better. I mean, he's not going to be, take big strides, but he'll be probably just as good or a little better. Maybe cut down on an interception. He probably still throw one, but he may only throw one this game. But we'll see what happens. They may end up being kind of conservative with him, but I feel like he's going to have a better game. The way you talk about him, it doesn't seem like they're going to have him throwing it all over. But if we can shut down the run, like you said, make him throw, that'd be great. I mean, that's going to be key. Also, don't give him a lot of 3rd and 2s and things like that. 4th and 1s. Don't give him the opportunity to convert some of and make it short yardage easier for the young quarterback. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it's one of those games, and I just feel like, I go with my head and my gut, and my heart says we're going to win. My head and my gut says we're going to win, but they also say this could be a kind of a tight one just because a lot of factors. I don't like when everybody thinks we're going to win. I get ugly. I don't get a good feeling when everybody thinks we're going to win.
Right.
Well, you know what, Flo? You kind of remind me of these guys when I watch Get Up Football or when they do NFL Live. But when I watch Get Up, the show Get Up, everybody, there's always one person that doesn't pick the team. Like everybody else say, okay, everybody's gonna say
right.
Somebody else will pick the Giants because they don't. I mean, because
upset.
Yeah.
Did somebody pick the Giants or what?
Yeah, I think the dude named Greeny picked the Giants.
Oh, did he? Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, that's good though. That's actually good.
I was gonna say Greeny's a New York guy anyway, so of course he would pick.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that's good that so that I'm not all the way correct that everybody's picking the Cowboys. So, I mean, because a lot of times it's just one. I don't know what it is about games when someone's just a big favorite, everybody's picking them, especially in the NFL. It just seems like it becomes a closer game somehow. For whatever reason, ball bounces funny and that kind of stuff. But
it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
So
what are our Ken, I'll start with you. What are our score predictions for this week?
Oh man, this was tough for me, man.
It's hard.
Just pick it. Go with your heart. Go with your gut.
I'm gonna go 34. 34 Dallas. I'm gonna go 10 New York. 34-10.
Oh, okay.
34-10. 34-10.
I'm gonna tell you. I mean, I hope we blow them out. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. It just feels like one of those, man, where we can't quite punch it in. The red zone difficulties come back to bite us again. I don't know, how much we play. Is it Martavius? I don't know how many times. I'm not sure how many times we use him in there. Maybe we use him. I don't know. Is that really going to help us in the red zone? Hopefully. I just feel like these red zone struggles are going to come back and bite us. We're coming out of that Philly game feeling kind of good about a loss, which is kind of weird. But, I understand we did play well, but feeling good about a loss is not always good. Big favorite. I don't like that. I mean, this is like one of the biggest favorites of the season, biggest spreads. It might be the biggest spread of the season. 17. So that's just, I'm just saying, man, wow, I just don't like that. I get a bad feeling in my gut. And so I'm just going to go with my head and my gut. My heart says we're going to blow them out. So I can't, it's 2-1. So I'm going to say it's going to be something weird, like a 29, 22, 29, something like that weird. And we pull away late, we make it, but it stays kind of throughout most of the game. I just feel like they're going to ugly it up and we're going to make some dumb mistakes. I don't know, sometimes these players, they get too confident, and some, it won't be everybody, but there'll be one or two players that are a little too confident, thinking we're going to, not be focused. And so, and then I feel like Dabo's going to go for it. I think he's going to take some chances. So 29-20. Let's go 20. Let's go 29-24. It's going to be a weird score, something like that. 29-25. We win it. We pull away late. I think it's just going to be an ugly game. There's going to be some weird things happen. We're going to win, but it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, oh man, this shouldn't have been this hard. But we pull away at least by 4 or 5 points somehow.
In the words of the man New Yorker, where the hell are the Giants getting 24 points from?
Special teams, pick 6. I mean, that's 12 right there. That's 14. A punt return. I don't know. A fumble, a scoop and score. I'm just saying, this just feels like one of those games.
I mean, it could feel like it, but I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna do what you usually do, Flo. I'm gonna say it's gonna be over by the third quarter.
Let's go. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Dak's gonna be sitting in the fourth quarter because the Cowboys are gonna be blowing them out here 3 quarters in. Defense is gonna get at least 2 scores. I think Tony Pollard has a great day, I think the offense gets a little bit more balanced. I think we'll see Martavis Bryant a little bit in this game. Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. You remember the Patriots game? You were a little leery about it, and I said, we're going to blow these boys out. I just had a feeling we're going to blow these boys out. I put out the R. Kelly thing. I said, we're going to blow these boys out. This is the same feeling I get about this game. I just don't know. I hope you're right this time, Alan, and I'm wrong. I just get that feeling, though.
45-7.
Oh, yes.
45.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Please be right.
They can potentially put up 50 against this team, I feel.
And, to tell you the truth, Alan, it could go. There's like a couple of things that could take it to that kind of score, and then a couple of things that could happen to take it to my score. It's going to be 1 or 2. I think it's going to be come down like 3 or 4 plays that's either going to take it to where it turns into a blowout or turns into a game. Mm-hmm. There's going to be like 3 or 4 plays that happen.
I'll say this much. This is how I felt about both Washington the Washington games 2 years ago. When everybody said, "Oh, Washington's gonna, go in there and make it a game. Dallas is gonna be in trouble, and who knows what's gonna happen."
We're not in trouble. I just feel like it's gonna be closer.
And then I said, "Yeah, the Cowboys are gonna blow these guys out," and they ended up blowing the Commanders out those 2 games. So,
right,
this game, man.
I feel like that's the same thing here with the Giants. I feel like yes, the Giants are basically playing with house money. They have nothing to lose, but I still don't think. If they can only put up 6 against a Raiders defense, which is kind of middle of the pack, I don't think they're going to be able to do much against the Cowboys defense. That's one of the best defenses in the NFL. So
a little bit of overreaction now. A little bit of overreaction to a 6-point game. It's the Raiders.
It is the Raiders.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just saying. You're right. I mean, you make good points. I'm not saying you're not making good points. I just feel like it's one of those head gut things that when I get that vibe, I just feel like, I'm going to hate this game. I'm going to be mad all game. We're going to win, but I'm going to be ticked. And then all the people are going to come out. See, they can't play. All the haters are going to come out. They barely beat the Giants, blah, blah, blah.
Also, since we talked Raiders, shout out to the sports professor himself, Mr. Omar there.
Shout out the sports professor.
He does a great job.
The Raiders still looking down on the Broncos. On Jake's Broncos. Hot take Jake's Broncos. Jake's looking like this up to the Raiders.
Hey man, the Broncos may beat the Bills on Monday Night Football.
I think they can. I bet the under in that game because I don't think they're going to score that much.
If they beat the Bills, hot take Jake will be insufferable. It'll be a terrible show. He's just gonna be gloating. He's gonna be glowing and floating around during the show. I just cannot take that. They cannot beat the Bills. They cannot. They shall not.
I'm so disappointed right now, man.
I guess it's possible, but they better not.
See, you say that, then it'll actually happen, which will be insufferable on Tuesday.
Oh, he's going to be insufferable, man. That'll be a show if you want to see somebody gloat for about a 4-5 team more than they should. That show would be the show. I mean, he's going to be insufferable. He'll be grinning from ear to ear. Man, you cannot. Don't even go there. Don't even think the Broncos can beat the Bills.
I think they can.
Jake's I might miss the show, to be honest with you. I may skip the show. It's just gonna be a screen of nothing, a screen of my picture, and then y'all just go on with the show. I may not show up.
Man.
And
Yeah.
well, guys, as always,
We'll see.
this has been a great show. We'll have a lot to talk about in the coming weeks as we get into the Thanksgiving season.
Let's go.
So next week we'll be at a later time. We're going to be going at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, because for me, I'm going to be moving on Friday and Saturday, so I'm going to be getting my new apartment in order, but we'll still try to do a show Saturday night. The week after, I don't know what we're going to do, but I think we've decided that I'm going to actually hop on y'all's show on Tuesday night. We're going to talk the Thanksgiving games.
Let's go.
For that week, and including the Cowboys and the Commanders on Thanksgiving Day. So we'll be doing that. So check it out for the next couple of weeks. But Flo, where can the people find you guys at? What you all got coming up?
I'll say you can find us at The Bottom Line Sports, The Bottom Line Sports on all your platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, at The Bottom Line Sports. We come out, we post the audio on Spotify. You can find us there at The Bottom Line Sports as well on Spotify. I post the audio the next day at the latest. And just look for us by almost 14. We're almost 1,400 on the Facebook group. And so just go check us out. Go comment. We appreciate everybody's support. Appreciate you guys. Hey, peace out, man.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, tomorrow night we have our show. We have our show tomorrow. We try to go about 6:35 Central, like about an hour, a little less than an hour before the Sunday Night Football kicks off. We wrap up the Sunday shows on Sunday, and then or the NFL on Sunday. We do an NFL wrap up.
But tomorrow night, nobody cares about Sunday night game tomorrow night. Who plays tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, Sunday.
Omar.
Jets and Omar's Raiders.
Right. I mean, if the games aren't that great, we just we don't spend much time on them, but we'll definitely wrap up the whole NFL day on Sundays, and then you'll catch us on Tuesdays at 7 Central, and we'll do other sports. And shout out to the Rangers again, who won the World Series. And
we got a lot of college football to talk to, man.
A lot of college football. NBA starting to kick up a little bit. So yeah, we'll talk other sports on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Well, as for me, tomorrow night, I'll be on the Sunday night post-game show with Johnny Cruz and Rob Logan. We'll probably
shout out Johnny Cruz.
We'll probably be going early because this Raiders game could potentially be bad. But depending on how this game goes, we'll probably be going early Sunday night with our post-game show. I'll also be on Let's Talk Major League Baseball, our baseball show with Scott Cobe and Jonathan Grishman. On Tuesday, we'll be talking a lot of the off-season moves that have happened. Ron Washington going to the Angels to be their new manager. That happened this week.
Left the Braves, that was good.
Mm-hmm. A lot of I'm just glad Wash got another manager job because he definitely deserves it. So
he deserves it.
I'm glad to see that he got another manager job. I hate it that it's the Angels, but at the very least he has another job in line.
Maybe they can hang on to Ohtani now. I don't know.
I hear Ohtani wants to come to Texas, so
let's go.
Let's go.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. Repeat. Let's say repeat.
Repeat.
I'll be saying that if he comes to Texas.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, this week as well, NFC South Roundtable, NFC East Roundtable, and then, of course, college football show on. Well, it won't be this week because again, I have to work on Saturday morning. But I'm sure we'll either figure out a way to have the show Saturday, or we'll try to find another day to do it. And then next week, not the week this next week, but the week after, the college football show, we might be doing that on Black Friday. So keep that in.
And they got an NFL game on Black Friday too. They got
NFL games on Black Friday
crazy,
too.
Man.
Oh wow, they're doing NFL games on Friday.
I believe like 3 games on Thursday and 1 on Friday.
I believe we're playing TCU on Black Friday. That day.
But they usually those for just college, though, right? I mean, this is the first time they've had one on Friday.
This is the first Black Friday game for the NFL. Yeah,
that's something I think.
Miami and the Jets.
What?
Oh, wow! Are y'all winning?
Man,
are y'all winning right now? But it's like
Ole Miss just scored, man.
Did they? I saw that it got called back by a penalty.
I told you about this game, Ken. I told you.
I said this morning. On our college football show, even though I was by myself for 45 minutes, I said if there was a chance that Georgia would lose, this would be the game because I think they could go.
I've been saying this for like 3 weeks.
They could go to Neyland Stadium and beat Tennessee for sure. Tennessee laid an egg against Missouri today, so they could go to Neyland Stadium and win. Georgia Tech might be a little bit of a challenge, but I still think you can beat Georgia Tech. This is the game. Ole Miss is the game where they could.
I was saying it was going to be Missouri or this game. So, but I leaned toward this game, and eventually I did say this game would be the. But you're still going to get there. It's just going to be one of those you're mad about it, but you're still going to get there.
I really hope Georgia does win because I don't want to hear any Alabama fans go nuts if Georgia loses this game. So
Georgia's in the SEC championship and Alabama. We already declared the East champions and they won today. So we're gonna play them December 2nd.
It's for sure.
For sure. Locked. It's loaded. Locked.
Okay.
Well. Right now, actually. Well, yeah. Well, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss has a chance.
Ole Miss,
if they win this game.
Ole Miss wins today. They're still a game behind, and Alabama needs to win either one of their next 2 games.
They got to beat Auburn and whoever else they got left on the schedule.
Well, yeah, that'll be easy because they got Chattanooga next week. So
yeah,
they got a cupcake next week. What the fuck?
They always do that. Alabama does that every year. They have a
but then everybody keeps saying Georgia had the weakest schedule. Like, really? We're playing our hardest football towards the end.
This is their hardest.
But you didn't think you were. You didn't think you were at the beginning of the season. You were like W. But now the Ole Miss and Missouri look a little better than
Missouri beat Tennessee today.
I'm just saying it looks like a tougher schedule now. How those teams are played.
Missouri played Georgia tough last week. I gotta give them credit. They played.
That's what I'm saying. It looks tougher now, but at the beginning of the season, you weren't thinking those were going to be tough games until they, now that we see them play and they're good.
So Ken, is Brock Bowers playing tonight?
He's playing tonight. Yep.
Okay.
Because I heard he was a game time decision, so I didn't know if they said he was playing or not. So
yeah, he's playing.
Okay.
All right. Good.
Let's go Cowboys.
That's good for Georgia. Yeah. It got off on a tangent again, didn't
I know. There we go. I'm trying to keep it straight out.
Okay. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. As Flo said, go Cowboys. Hopefully waiting for the blowout tomorrow against the Giants.
I hope you're right, Alan.
I don't know why they're putting it in the afternoon, though. I expected this to be the noon game, but it's the featured game in the afternoon is going to be the blowout and the death of the
because the haters are hoping it's a close game. The haters are hoping for a close game.
We're going to win.
I hope for once, Alan. I hope I'm wrong and you're right. I hate being wrong. But I'm hoping you're right.
We're going to witness a mass murder on live television.
Let's go.
Tomorrow. So,
I hope so.
Gentlemen, any last words before we end off?
Go Cowboys.
Nope. Go Cowboys. I hope I'm wrong.
Go Cowboys, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Have a great rest of your football weekend. We'll see y'all next week. Until then, love y'all. Stay safe.
All right, bro.
We'll see y'all later.
All right.